Hello, everybody. My name is Lucas O'Keefe, and I'm super excited to be chatting with you today about how you can create content that converts for your social media strategy. Before we get into the good meat and potatoes of what we'll be chatting about today, I figured it's important to address why content that converts matters on social media in 2021 and beyond. Quite simply put, we know that social media is a busy place, regardless of what platform you're on or what formats you're sharing content in. Now, we all have this common pain point or problem where we feel like we're spending so much time and hard work creating content that we know is great. We know it speaks to our audience. We know that it brings value, and we know that it could be what it takes for someone to hit that follow button. But we're still not feeling like our content is being seen. Whether that's social media algorithms, people just being too busy to see all the content out there, or other factors, we have to make sure that we're getting our audience's attention and getting them to take action with our content. That's what Content That Converts is all about. And I'm going to be chatting with you about my 3-step process that you can apply to optimize just about any post out there to make sure that you're taking advantage of all that reach, all that engagement from your audience that's really going to help you grow on social media. A little bit about myself. Content That Converts is a strategy that I have implemented over the past year and a half to grow my own organic following over on Instagram of over 175,000 followers. I have one of the most engaged communities on Instagram, and that's spread over to other social media platforms as well. So these tactics definitely work. And if getting more likes, comments, saves, shares, DMs, and those precious follows is one of your goals for your social media strategy, then listen up, because I'm going to be giving you some practical tips on how you can do that as well. To keep it nice and simple, we're going to discuss content that converts in 3 simple pillars. And those are the hook, the value, and the action that's going to come out in your content. A big factor we're going to be addressing today is how these can work for multiple different platforms and multiple different content formats. So whether you share more TikTok or Instagram Reels style short form video, interactive carousels on Instagram, or good old fashioned photos, these are some tactics that are definitely going to help you and that you can start applying to your content today. So let's start with that hook. But having a good hook is a great and important way to get people's attention. Like I said in the beginning, if you aren't grabbing someone's attention, then unfortunately, the rest of your content, that stuff you're putting hours and hours of hard work and time and money into creating, isn't going to get noticed if you don't have that hook. We often hear that a good hook grabs someone's attention within the first 3 seconds of them seeing it on the feed. Well, with how social media is nowadays, I think you have to grab attention within that first 1 second. We live in that time where people get stuck in those marathons of just swiping up and down, not even realizing what they're skipping by. Your goal is to grab that attention for that person, stop that scroll, and to get them to consume the rest of your content. If you're looking at some simple ways to apply these hooks into your content, here are my favorite methods. And the first has got to be movement. Movement is why I think we see such a fad and important craze right now with short form video. TikTok is obviously a dominant platform. Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts are all taking notice, and there's a reason for that. TikTok videos and the short form format in general is a powerful way to incorporate movement into your social media strategy. And that movement is a powerful hook. Here's why. If we think about ourselves when we are typically on our phones, what are we doing? We might be on the couch, we might be sitting down for lunch, or commuting into work. We're not moving very much when we're on social media. So a great way to grab someone's attention is to provide that movement that they're missing in that moment. This is why we see things like TikTok videos of people walking and talking, or Instagram stories of people, communicating with their audience, giving them updates while they're on the move. You can also do things like powerful transitions. And again, an important aspect of this new short form video format that we're definitely talking about a lot today. So movement is a powerful way to grab attention. Secondly, and I'm doing it right now, eye contact is a great way to hook in your audience. This is something that works for videos, like I've mentioned in the previous examples, but also good old fashioned photos. There's a reason why platforms like Instagram started with photos. It's a great way to connect and to show the personal side of your account, and to really just show your audience who you are. The human brain is attracted to eye contact from other humans, so make it that social platform and use a good hook that brings in your audience through eye contact. Finally, for hooks, if you don't do video, if you don't want to share photos, that's completely understandable. When I first started my account over a year ago, I wasn't really putting my personal brand out there yet. I wasn't as comfortable as I am right now for a large event like this to be appearing in front of all of you, to be on video or to be in photos. So I relied heavily on graphic design and things like that to share value with my audience. And what I did as a hook in that way was to use what we call power words. So words that your audience is going to be looking for, that they can scan through and see, oh, that's the topic I'm looking for. I'm talking about words like free or instant or easy or how to. Think about what your audience is looking for. And as they are scrolling, what is a word they can quickly see in the title of your post that's going to make them stop and consume the rest and give you that chance? Once we have that hook, we actually move on to the next part. You've already done that hard work of grabbing someone's attention in 2021. Not an easy task to do. So now it's a good reminder to show them what your account is all about. I got your attention. Now I'm going to show you why you should give me your follow, right? Or why you should look into my offer or my products or services. And that is to bring value. Now, value can be a bit of a cliche word. We hear it a lot in social media. Bring value, give value. That's the secret. But when we think about how we can actually measure it, using the metrics given to us by most social media platforms, the secret to measuring value that I want everybody watching right now to think about is how can you get someone to save or share your content? We have likes, we have comments, we have follows and everything else. But I view saves and shares, and many social media algorithms, I believe, also have this approach. I view saves and shares as the ultimate metric to aim for. Saves are telling the algorithm and you that someone liked that content so much that they want to come back to it a second time or a third time or a fourth time. It's basically the equivalent of if we've ever screenshotted something, saved it in our phone because we know we want to refer back to it. That is a huge metric to aim for to know you're giving value. As for shares, you know that someone is bringing a friend or a family member into the conversation. If someone is sharing your post, they liked it enough to give word of mouth, to advocate for you and say, this is a great post. You might want to check this out too. And that is huge in 2021 and beyond. I'm going to explain why in a moment. Let's first talk about how you can get some saves. So if you are having trouble getting more saves on your content, I always say scale it back and focus on being as practical as possible. When we think about savable content, it's that content that delivers someone an easy to accomplish outcome. Something that's going to save them time and effort in their day-to-day, and your content is going to be the thing that provides that. If you can do that, you are much more likely to get someone to follow your account, to trust your offers, to trust your products and services, because you're already that source of value. So when it comes to getting content that people are going to save, that you know you're making valuable content, focus on making something easier for your audience, teaching something, or saving them time. When it comes to shares, it's a similar strategy. However, I think we need to appeal to more what humans talk about and what humans share on social media. In other words, creating shareable content is about putting the social back into social media. And the best way to get someone to share your content is to get the reaction in some way. If someone's having an emotional response to your content, whether they're laughing or they're interested in it, or you know what, maybe it's something thrilling or shocking, they are much more likely to want to tell someone else about that so they can share in that emotion with them. That is your goal, to create shareable content. Now, I mentioned why shareable content in terms of content that converts is so important right now. And I'm going to explain why right now. The main reason is because, we're all sick of relying on algorithms and reach and the explore page or the For You page to get our content out there. Oh, and don't let me forget hashtags, of course, right? There are so many algorithm controlled ways to get our content in front of organic new audiences. But one of the ones you can control, the only one you can really control, is how often your content is shared. And like I said, this is a powerful metric because it's literally someone else advocating for your content and saying, hey, I really like this post. I want you to check it out too. Trust me, this is good, right? So aiming for saves and shares are the best way to get that value that's going to then convert into just about any goal you're trying to accomplish for your account or for your business. Now, speaking of goals, we get to the third part of my 3 pillars of content that converts. So we've already discussed having an important hook to grab attention. And then we discussed ways that you can give value where someone immediately feels like you have helped them or given them something to talk about. You've done the 2 hardest parts of content creation, in my opinion. So what's the third part? Just reminding your audience to take action with what they've learned or what they've enjoyed about your post. And it's amazing because this is the most simple one out there, but many of us who maybe feel like we're not getting the comments we want or the saves and shares that we want on our content, many of us are just skipping this crucial step. And for the action step of content that converts, I invite everybody to make sure you're having at least one call to action per post. A call to action, if you're not sure, is just you telling your audience how you want them to interact with that post once they've consumed that content. So, hey, if you like this, why don't you give it a share to your friend, right? If this was valuable, save it for later. Hey, follow my account for more Instagram tips. It's a simple reminder that goes a long way. And I've said simple a few times now for a reason. The biggest takeaway that I can offer when you are thinking about your call to action is to limit how many choices you're giving your audience. When I was starting out, I used to, be trying to get as much engagement and reach from my account as possible. So I thought a good strategy would be, let me put a huge checklist of ways my audience can engage. I want you to like this post. I want you to comment this. I want you to follow for more. I want you to save. I want you to share. And my engagement was not doing so great. And there's a reason for that. I gave too many options. So when you are creating content that you want your audience to convert on, a main focus is to keep it as simple as possible. What is that one outcome that you want in this moment for your business? Maybe you have a big product launch and you need more people DMing you for more information, or DMing you to get on your email list, or clicking the link in your bio to get on your email list or to check out your landing page. That should be your call to action. Maybe you're in the early stages of growing your Instagram or social media account and you just want more people commenting and getting to know you. Invite them to comment in a simple way so that you can actually start to have that engagement, and always choose just one to focus on. In terms of a few quick tips for how you can optimize each of these calls to action, when it comes to more comments, I always say ask a simple yes or no question. If you leave it too open-ended, like give me your feedback on how this session went, you risk overwhelming someone, or someone feeling like they don't have the time to give that much of a detailed response, and they're less likely to reply at all. But if you give a simple yes or no question, did you enjoy this session? You are much more likely to get a response, and usually it'll be the positive one with a nice yes. This doesn't mean you're limiting your audience from replying in the way they want to. You'll find that the people who do want to give more detailed answers will always add that little extra bit, even if your question is only yes or no. As for calls to action that increase saves and shares, I know I touched on them a little bit, but again, a simple reminder, save this for later if you found it useful. Save this for when you need it next. Anything like that goes a long way in getting your audience to just, at the last minute, before they move on to someone else's content, hit that save button for your post, and the algorithm loves it, and it's great feedback for you to know that people were appreciating and learning from your content. Likewise, for shares, remind them of who they might want to share it with. Hey, share this with someone else in your industry. Share this with a colleague. Share this with a family member to make them laugh. We see a lot of common captions on Instagram and TikTok posts where someone says, tag someone who does this in the comments, right? And that is a powerful way to invite people to share so they know who they should pick and who they should reach out to. As for follows, if you want more follows, I always remind people of what they're getting from following you. So don't just say, hey, follow me for more. Say, follow me for more Instagram tips just like this. It goes a long way to give them that little reminder of what they're getting from following your account or connecting with you. Finally, since we are talking about conversions, and conversions can be engagement, but also those important sales for your business or your brand, a great reminder is just to ask people to DM you a simple word. I like the keyword system when I have an offer or if I want someone to reach out to me for more information on something. As the call to action in my post, I'll say, DM me more for more info on my upcoming offer, right? Or DM me later, Con, I'd imagine many of you, if you came here via my Instagram account, it might be because I said, DM me the word LaterCon for more information about LaterCon, and it works. Instead of encouraging someone to, figure out how they should approach you and ask questions, you're giving them a simple channel. Just send me this one word. That's all you have to do to show your interest, and I'll handle the rest in directing you to what you need to know about my products or my services. It goes a long way. Now, just to review, those 3 pillars that, again, anybody can apply to any type of content on social media are to have a hook, grab that attention. If you're not grabbing attention, the rest of your content, unfortunately, doesn't matter. Once you have their attention, you have them invested in you, give that value. Give them that reminder for those few moments that they're going to be consuming your content, and show them why your account or why your brand is trustworthy. And then, as a key takeaway, just give them a reminder. What do you want them to do, right? Many of us are afraid to ask for things. We feel like we don't want to sound too salesy or too promo heavy on social media. But I can tell you, the key part of value is you're giving something to the audience, whether that's community, education, entertainment, or more. You've already given them something with the content you've worked really hard on. So asking for them to help you out or to send, a follow or a share your way is just a small favor that people are more than willing to give. I have one final tip before we wrap up this session, and that is to experiment. I didn't get to this kind of content that gets me, tons of engagement, tons of metrics that really match my social media goals just from square one, right? It was a long process of hard work and content creation to get here, and I only got it by experimenting. The way I urge you all to experiment is to create content every single day. And that's whether you plan on sharing it or not. Doesn't mean you have to post every day, but just get in the habit of creating content, writing down your ideas, brainstorming, because you're going to very quickly learn what works for you and what works for your unique audience. And that's what's going to get you closer to having the perfect content strategy. That's it for today. I've been Lucas O'Keefe, and I hope you enjoy the rest of these exciting sessions.